This week, the New South Wales coroner confirmed that COVID-19 was responsible for the death of a 2-month-old baby back in December. This news comes after the death of a previously healthy 2-year-old in the last week. It's understood the baby is Australia's youngest COVID victim. And while death and serious illness are rare among children, parents want to know what they should do if their child does get the virus. Dr Margie Danchin is a paediatrician specialising in immunisation at the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne and the Murdoch Children's Research Institute. Welcome to The Virus, Margie. Have we underestimated the impact of the virus on children?
We know that the vast majority of children, in fact, do experience either very mild symptoms or even asymptomatic infection. But as you've just outlined, severe disease does still happen in children, and they may need admission to hospital, and some can become severely unwell, especially if they have certain underlying medical conditions. So I think we do need to be aware that COVID can be severe in children, and we need to focus on getting eligible children vaccinated.
Now, we're not vaccinating at that high enough rate yet, are we, in the 5 to 11-year-olds?
Vaccination coverage in the primary school age children for one dose is around 56-57% nationally and about 12% for 2 doses. So we've got a long way to go in terms of the coverage that we've achieved in the adult population. For 16-year-old individuals and over, it's now 95% for 2 doses. But having said that, internationally, we're doing very well. We're on par with Canada, and countries like the US and the UK are far behind our coverage here in Australia.
But that's cold comfort if kids are going to get infected. And just before we get on to the even younger children, what we said before on the virus is that the safety profile is excellent.
The safety profile is excellent. In primary school age children, the common and expected side effects occur less frequently than teenagers and young adults. And we have not seen a vaccine safety signal for myocarditis or inflammation of the heart, which we were concerned about, having seen that after the second dose in teenagers, particularly young men. We have not seen that in primary school age children. And in fact, the risk of myocarditis is 1/10 that of the teenage age group. So that's really good news for parents.
It's going to be a while before we have vaccines available for the under 5s. When we've got such a surge on and so many thousands of cases in Australia, what can parents do to protect their younger children, if anything?
Yeah, that's right. The primary school age group under 5s don't yet have a vaccine available, although we do hope that will happen in the next 3 to 6 months. And we've seen an announcement this week from Murdoch seeking approval in the FDA for the under 6s. So hopefully a vaccine is on the horizon. But in terms of parents caring for younger children, the most important thing is to make sure that children are drinking enough, that we keep up their fluids, that we use Panadol or Nurofen to treat any fever, and that they get lots of rest and sleep. And importantly, that we really need to look out for any more serious signs of infection, which is usually listlessness, difficulty breathing, very high fever. Those children need to see a doctor and potentially come into hospital for further treatment.
Margie Danchin, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.